Hello there. Welcome to another INFJ ramble. Um, I was gonna say in previous videos, I say I don't have many friends, and I'm okay with that. I think, I think the most important thing in life, really, is to be okay with who you are and what you have. You know what I mean? Instead of like focusing on what you're lacking or what you feel you should have, you should focus on what you do have and be okay with it, regardless of what you think or expect it should be. You know, like we're all composed of so many different aspects, and some parts of ourselves we, I suppose, like to glorify because, it makes us feel accomplished or whatever. But there's darker aspects of ourselves that a lot of us refuse to accept and be okay with. And I think the key to finding inner peace and balance and alignment is being okay with the darker aspects of yourself, and not suppressing them or crucifying them, but just looking at all the various aspects that make up you and being okay with it. And once you find um, that self acceptance, you can accept others as they are as well, without trying to um, project your expectations on them. Does that make sense? Anyhow, yeah, so I don't have friends. I don't have many friends, and I'm okay with that. I also am okay that most people won't understand me. And it's probably because of the, how do I say, the gap in consciousness, understanding, awareness, and mindfulness. And that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, you can't expect everyone to understand you, and you can't expect yourself to understand everyone else, especially if you haven't, like, put forth the effort and the work into expanding your consciousness. Um, I've also been okay with accepting people as they are. Like, I've come to a higher realization that everything everyone does isn't really personal. Everything that I do isn't personal either. It's just a temporary reaction or response in the moment. And so I don't really take things personally anymore. And I find that I am much more peaceful most of the time. Um, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, because I am a human being and I do falter, but I'm okay with that as well. You know what I mean? I don't expect to be perfect 100% of the time, and I've become okay with making mistakes. I've come to the realization that making mistakes is part of the evolutionary process. And it's not necessarily good or bad, it's just ways of experimenting and then figuring out the ways that don't work and the ways that do work, and it's okay. Seriously, just adopt the mindset of being okay with everything outside of you and inside of you, and you will acquire so much more peace. Like a lot of, I don't know, I spend a lot of my days without having any expectations tied to it. Um, and I find that I get disappointed less, and I don't get as tense or worried because I'm not expecting a particular outcome, and I'm just allowing everything to unfold around me and accepting everything as it unfolds graciously. Anyhow, this was I guess the whole like gist of this recording is to be okay, you know, with yourself, every aspect of yourself. And once you acquire that self acceptance and self um, love, then you can share that with everyone you encounter. And then I was talking about not having too many friends, and I'm totally fine with that because I feel like quality over quantity for sure, always. You know, I'd rather have like one or two really, really quality friends versus like 100 superficial, fake, parasitic, unhealthy connections. Get it? Anyhow, I feel like my most trustworthy friends have been my books. And I don't really look at my books often, but they're always there and they're always waiting for me to pick them up whenever I'm ready to reconnect with them. And I do not like spending time filling my mind with useless or nonsensical information. And if you do, that's fine. Everybody is different, everybody is their own unique expression of the universe. But for me personally, I do not like spending my time filling my mind or filling my experience with useless information. Um, I know that can be twisted. I feel like people are going to be like, well, nothing is useless. Everyone has something to offer. And that is true. But as far as that is true and untrue at the same time, just depends on how you're looking at it. Anyhow, I'm not going to get into that. This is like a totally different can of worms. I'm going to talk about my friends, my books being my friends. And I never really was into, um, I don't know, Harry Potter and romance novels and things like that. I was more into, you know, books that would teach me something new or something new that I could apply towards life. And most recently, I was just kind of like was putting some books back on my bookshelf, and this guy called out to me. He's like, "Pick me up, read me," and I did. And if you are interested in acquiring courage, calmness, and confidence, this is a lovely, lovely book for you to reference. And it's an easy read too. Some of the texts that I read are super complex. And this guy is super easy. This book is super easy. Yeah. The Wisdom of Yogananda, Volume 5. And yeah, let me here. Just some jewels for you to munch on. I have a tendency of underlining parts of my books too when I read them. I don't know if you can see that. I underline stuff. So I could have read this like 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, but when I pick it up now, it's like, oh, you know, like a full on reminder to my present self. I guess my past self was setting this book up for my future self, which is currently present, to read this as a reminder. Sorry if that was confusing. Anyway, here, listen to this stuff. The more you improve yourself, the more you will elevate others around you. So I think we spend a lot of time like trying to fix everything and everyone around us. But he's saying, and Gandhi said it too, you know, be the change you want to see the world. It starts with you. It starts with you. It doesn't start with you going out there and, you know, crusading. It starts with going inside and integration, alignment, balance, calmness, peace, love within yourself. all aspects of yourself, becoming a holistic human being, and then just going out into the world and being that. Not trying to fix and change and, like shift things around you. Just kind of like removing all the things you are not and becoming everything that you are. And then your presence becomes or emanates the change that you want to see in the world. Some people do this unconsciously. So like people who are like in a lot of pain or hurting, they have a tendency to create a lot of chaos and confusion and harm to others in their experience or environment, right? So yeah, I mean, if you want to be a healing, how do I say, a healing presence, then you work on yourself and then emanate that, you know, effortlessly. You don't have to try. This video is going on long. But don't be a beggar. Realize that you are the child of the emperor of the universe. The only limitation on man is imposed by himself through his thoughts. And it goes into like, I don't know, nervousness, which I think INFJs have a tendency to have issues with. Nervousness and anxiety and how to remedy that. And the physiological, emotional, mental triggers are listed in here, so you can become aware of that, and then you can kind of like alleviate it. You know what I mean? Yeah, so this is a really cute little easy read gem of a book if you would like to enhance yourself or refine yourself or fine tune yourself, with which I think we are constantly trying to do, right? The best way to get rid of nervousness is first to keep the right company. So you want to like surround yourself with positive, healthy, high vibrational human beings, and release all the toxic relationships and interactions that you currently have. That's it. Stop trying to hold things together. I mean, if something's not working out, really, there's only so much effort you can put forth. And if the other person doesn't want to like exchange, the same amount of energy, then forget it. Life is too short to be focusing on overly dramatic and toxic people. Just move it along. That's what I've learned. So thank you. You know who you are. I don't even know if you watch my videos, but you know who you are. Thank you for helping me to elevate myself outside of that toxic relationship. Seriously, you're an angel. Anyhow, this video is going on longer than I expected, so I'm gonna end it. Thank you for listening to my ramble. If you learned something, great. If you didn't learn anything, that's great too. You have a beautiful night. Take good care, and blessings to one and all. And again, Paramahansa Yogananda, Volume 5. Amazing. All right, take care. Blessings to one and all. Amen.